What number is it, Jordan?
9.
Wrong. 10. All right. Dad Fight Club number 10. What happens when you have a white belt teaching a wrestler how to do basic jiu-jitsu and you have a wrestler teaching a white belt how to do basic wrestling? That's basically what we've been doing for the past 10 weeks or so, right? Or past 10 sessions. Dude, how's the arm? Is it still jacked up from yesterday?
Feeling much better. I mean, it's still there in certain positions, particularly fully stretched out. So yeah, I mean, it's I know it's nothing serious. Don't need to go to the doctor or anything, but definitely going to give it probably maybe Monday. I'll try to put a little weight on it and see. So
yeah,
I did a little run today. I could do some core and some legs, but I'm just going to give it rest because I just don't want to risk it.
Definitely avoid your wife's suggestion of going to the doctor. Forget about that.
Of course. What's she talking about?
I mean,
she's clearly an amateur.
How does that make any sense?
It was funny. We full disclosure to the team here, we met up, our wives met up for the first time last night, and I was kind of telling you about it, and it was so funny. Your wife was like, Bill.
Look,
it was so
he took
funny.
too long to tap.
Meant to do it or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, my wife was not super pleased that I might have tweaked Jordan's arm in training yesterday, or 2 days ago. But I mean, it was a Kimura. Okay, you got to learn, and for the record, you tapped super early. So any issues you got, man, that's a mobility issue. Okay, that's not a me issue. That's a you issue. We'll see it on the video here in a minute. You barely even get past the uncomfortable. And
no, so it wasn't the shoulder. It was actually the elbow. So it wasn't that the shoulder had gotten there. It was I think it was just the full extension from that angle, because that's where a lot of the discomfort is.
Yeah. Well, so listen, the elbow is connected to the shoulder, which is connected, which is connected to my Kimura grip, But I mean, we'll see it on the video. It did not. I was surprised that you tapped where you tapped. I was super shocked because I definitely. Yeah.
Well, if you go back and watch, I actually say tap first. And realized, you're not hearing me, and then tapped.
I heard a little. I
felt it.
Yeah. Well, so we remove the audio from these. So any incriminating, it's actually true. We remove the audio because for whatever reason the software that we use makes it really hard for us to talk over when we have the audio going.
When he says we means him.
Maybe
he does it all.
Maybe, but. When I was watching it back, I did hear something, but I don't hear a clear tap at all. I hear a little groan. When I was listening back to the video.
I think I was and I was like, all right. And
I think maybe I heard all right. But that is not tap, dude. We need clearer communication. Well, needless to say, after that first round that we did, which again we'll watch here in a minute, Jordan then took, a turn trying to pass my guard. We did the classic, standing, sitting, I'm sitting, he's standing, trying to pass my guard. And he passes my guard literally in 10 seconds. The first 10 seconds of our little passing session. And I'm the jiu-jitsu guy here. that's concerning. It's problematic when you teach a wrestler that's got super crazy top pressure and is stronger and everything, an X pass. So we'll see.
With a bum elbow.
With a bum elbow, but yeah, you were I've got to turn this up a notch here, I think.
No, and I actually didn't even really feel it in a negative way through the rest of the rounds. It wasn't until afterwards it just got gradually worse and worse as it kind of cooled down.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Well, my mom. So I've been having elbow issues too, not from Kimuras and stuff, but just I think just getting dinged up. Usually it's when I try to catch myself and I'm falling and I'm fully extended, or I'm just doing something stupid like that. That's how it originally happened. But my mom has like this Eastern Bloc, Eastern European, probably not legal in the United States. Like it's like an icy hot, but like from Hungary. And she gave me some. And my God, like you remember, I was having like those knee issues for a long time. Like the first like few podcasts, like you landed on me, not me framing on you, of course, but you landed on me really hard. And it took, my knee was really hurting for like weeks, right? And icing, heat, not stretching, nothing. But then I started slathering that stuff on. And within a few days, it seemed to really calm down. So if you want, I can hook you up with some of that. But I know you're about to go on a trip. So I don't want you out of commission. Your wife would, I'm sure my wife would be angry with me about you being hurt on your vacation.
It's funny you say that because when she was encouraging me to go to the doctor, she was like, I mean, we just don't want to be in the airport where we have to lug all of this stuff because it's bothering you, AKA I have to lift it all. I'm like, don't worry, I'll be all right.
It has occurred to me, like a lot of these jiu-jitsu gyms, like they're like, health is wealth. And, like you're going to lose weight and get stronger and everything if you get on the mats with us. There might be some truth to that. But I'm also like walking around and trying to keep up with my two crazy kids while I'm like, oh, my elbow, oh, my knee. Like, I don't know if it's actually been super helpful for like my family life, like keeping up with two feral boys. But in any event, I ain't quitting. So, yeah. All right, let's get into these rules here. So we're going to go over three sessions. The first one is just a general, we sort of start from standing. And it's about 3.5 minutes long. The second one will be Jordan trying to pass my guard, and the third one is me trying to pass Jordan's guard. So, all right, let's get into it. Wait for it.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. All right. Now, I think you are shocked that I choose to start standing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah.
This again.
And then you come out real good, real assertive.
So I was going for a far side arm drag, okay? And you immediately turned my reach. I reached across your body. And you just grabbed it and turned it into some sort of like Russian tie. Like, is that what they call it, right? So I take my right arm and I reach across, right? Here, and then you end up, and then you just take it. Look at this.
I just slide my right arm down,
and then I was like, I'm sitting down. I don't need to get. I've seen this movie before. So that was my first Kimura attempt, right there.
I should have known there and wised up.
Let's watch it again. So what I really need to do here is like it's called inverting, where you go up onto your shoulders. To really get over and around your arm, I need to like bend my head in and go up onto my shoulders. I sent you a picture of like my old like instructor Grant doing it, where you can see him like literally like all the way up on his shoulders. But I just kind of go to my side here. This is a white belt version of an inverting, which is not inverting. This is not what it's supposed to look like. But I almost got your hand, I think. And you were like, I'm pulling that back. You're like smiling at me like, not today.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet in this round. So you're setting up for one of your X pass, or maybe you were looking to body lock. I definitely noticed that like
body lock there.
You weren't going like you were definitely trying to think your way through this, right? Like you weren't really going crazy here like you do kind of in the next round after I Kimura you.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. I'm like, okay, I guess I won't be taking it a little too slow this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop trying to think my way through this and just start beating Bill. I was thinking about going for threaten the guillotine, and then this, to my credit. So remember last time, like when we were standing, I reached across your body and you pulled me into kind of that Russian tie arm drag. Well, this time you reach across my body. Look at your arm. You're reaching across my body because you're trying to get around that knee. And I just take that and wrestle right up into an arm drag. Now, most people, when you do this to them, you can just take their back. But you as a wrestler, as soon as I start wrestling up on you, you just stand. You're like, get me out of here. Look at this. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm up. And then, of course, your superior wrestling skills get you out of there. But I was really pleased with my little arm drag here. You know, I recognized the situation that you were giving me, you know, and I've been hitting arm drags a lot more in training. And so I was really happy that I managed to get around and get a look at your back at the very least. You know, on other folks, this would be a lot more successful. Also, like, you know, being fair, getting up into this standing position, like, I wasn't going to try to do anything crazy. You know, like, I watched a cool Tim Kennedy video where basically he's wrestling with Jason Khalipa, the CrossFit dude. I'm not sure if you saw this. Origin put out an awesome video where they do 3 challenges. It's like a fitness challenge, a jiu-jitsu challenge, and then a shooting challenge. It was super cool. And Tim Kennedy just absolutely mops the floor with Khalipa in the jiu-jitsu aspect, even though Khalipa's, you know, a brown belt, you know? He's super good. But so they get to this position where it's the body lock from the rear, like this, where I've got my hands around you, and Khalipa was trying to break the grip. And what Kennedy does, because you're going to start sitting back right here, right? So you start sitting back right here. When you start sitting back,
he just drops down, and
he doesn't drop down. What he actually does is he takes his left shin and his right shin, and he sort of drops back on his butt. Tim Kennedy drops back on his butt and shoots his shins out at the same time. And his right shin connects with the back of your right ankle. His left shin connects with the back of it, and just like boops his feet out from underneath it. Yeah, and then you land with both of you on your butts, and he's still got the body lock, and he goes into, you know, taking the back. And like I was thinking about it, and I was like, is the first time that I want to try doing this with my buddy Jordan, who outweighs me by 20 pounds or 25 pounds of pure muscle. Like, if I blow out this dude's ankles trying to do this, like from a clip that I saw once on YouTube,
like, blow out my ankles, blow out your back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously, I know other things to do, but like, I was just, I didn't want to go. You know, we're not trying to kill each other in these situations, and certainly, you know, you have adequate escapes from all this as well, you know, so no guaranteeing I would have gotten any of it. Anyways, you escape, and then, like the jiu-jitsu pansy that I am, yeah, you give me a smirk, I immediately pull guard. I'm like, thank you. So I'm getting that underhook. I'm looking to do a butterfly sweep.
Like, oh.
Yeah, so by the way, I gave Jordan a little like butterfly sweep instructional right before this roll. So he knows that I was trying to get an overhook on one side, an underhook on the other. He knows exactly what I'm doing.
How many times on the podcast there was a fight going on that you didn't know you were fighting for underhooks, where you were able to do one thing or another because of it?
Well, now you know.
But I definitely knew there that that's exactly what you were trying to do, because I could feel your feet, and I was like, not today.
Yeah, so you're sitting really far back. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I should probably think of something else to do. I thought about an arm drag there. I'm just trying to keep inside position with my feet, basically. And, you know, at any point here, I could be sucking you into closed guard. Like, you're not really preventing me from doing that, you know? And so, like, honestly, with your success in doing the X pass that we'll see like in the next round, I think I got to just start like sucking you into closed guard, because it's the one thing I'm not throwing at you that I, you know, like that I have in my white belt toolkit. So I think if I can't find an answer, well, it's just going to be us sitting in closed guard. Like, it's like, which is going to make really poor podcast material, but like, you know, it's better than getting smash passed, you know, or as I call it, getting pancake passed by you. So at this point, look, like, your hand is on the ground, right? Like, that's not what you should be doing, right? So your hand over there, like, it's kind of out of range of me, but anytime your hand is on the ground over there, it's at risk of me getting a Kimura. right? So you have good distance here. It's very unlikely that I'm gonna be able to do it, but you'll see. I get there, and I'm already thinking it. As soon as I see your hand goes on the ground, I'm already thinking Kimura. So right here, I grab your hand. Let's see, when do I do it? Oh, I think you might get into half guard here. You kind of smush me into half guard. Is that what happens?
Wait, you go for it there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I almost had it right there.
Oh, that's right. That was like the kind of.
You like that little? So this is me trying to invert. Okay, everybody out there, this is a white belt attempting to invert. I know it's not what you're supposed to do, like how it's supposed to look, but this is me trying to do it. And it's just letting me get a better angle coming over the top, right on the arm. And I end up basically just like flopping on my back because I don't know what I'm doing. But I do manage to swing back into you. I think you were like mildly amused by that. Because I remember you being like, oh, welcome back. Like that's what you said to me while we were rolling. Because like I swung out and then swung back because I'm an idiot white belt. Oh, man. Not ideal. Like again, just like all this stuff, like you are just an immovable wall. Like you're just like this compact. For those that can't tell, Jordan's like 3 inches shorter than me, but 20 to 25 pounds heavier than me. So it's like, it really is like dealing with a different type of body type than I normally am able to or work with. So I'm getting the underhook again. I'm thinking about doing another butterfly sweep. You're going in a different direction. I'm trying to keep inside position, but like, yeah. And so I think this is another thing I might just have to do in response to your X pass. Cause like, look, like you're past me here, right? Like you're past my legs. And what I end up doing is just pushing you away and creating space, right? So like I basically bail and I say, okay, I got to get as far away from you as possible. And then I'm able to get back to half guard. But you'll see in the next video that we do, like if you actually put some heat on your X pass, I'm almost defenseless to it at this point, which is kind of humbling. All right, so yeah, something you should know.
Very exhausting to me. This whole sequence here was very exhausting to me. It was like I felt like I don't know if it was maybe because it was like the first round, which is always like a bit tiresome. Like you're getting that first like over the hump. But dude, like compared to me when I was on my back and I was like just playing guard, I was like, oh yeah, this is much more comfortable.
Well, that's funny because you told me at the end of your guard round that you were pretty wiped. So like, I don't know, like, I mean, because I was making you carry a ton of weight, remember? But it's all tiring. Like, I think being on bottom is just as tiring as if somebody is like really pushing you. But you were just applying constant slow pressure here, which is what I tried to do in my passing. But this is something that is maybe a teachable moment. So look, like you've got me flattened out in half guard here. Okay, eventually, and I'm not going to teach you this anytime soon because I don't need you getting any better. Like you're going to learn, like figure out how to pass from a flattened out half guard. Like this is where you want to get me. Like you want me both my shoulder blades to be on the mat. If I'm in half guard, but I've got an angle to me, there are things I can do. If you've got me flattened out here, like the only thing I can do is try to get back to a better guard, basically. And there's a million things that you can do if you knew what they were. If you went to one of those jiu-jitsu classes. So watch how I frame away and get back to a good guard. Okay, so I'm going to like use my top elbow, and then I think I'm eventually going to use my left leg to get a butterfly hook in, probably, if I was going to guess. So there I am framing, and then eventually back to, but like that's no easy feat with Jordan, everybody. Okay. All right. Now here we get to our Kimura. All right. Your hand is on the ground for whatever reason. Your right hand is on the ground. And I've now made connection with it with my hand, with my left hand. So as soon as I grab it, I hip out to give myself space, do like a little fake inversion.
Right.
And there was the tap. And like, I let go. Look at my face. Did he just tap? No way. So let's watch that sequence again. So yeah, do you see that I already had your hand, right? Mm-hmm. So as soon as we come over, I've already got control of your wrist. right there. I grab it, right? So I have your hand, and that's when I commit to it. I'm like, okay, I'm going for this. I have his hand. He's going to be circling over to my left. And so that's when I start. I do a hip escape, which you did really well today. So that was my hip escape right there. Did you see me shove my?
Yep.
Watch me shove back.
Use that left foot.
Yep. And then to really get a good angle, to get way over through that gap in your arm and to connect to my own hand. That's why I start inverting like this, to be able to give myself more like slack to like get through almost. Like I can get deeper this way. And allegedly, Jordan verbally taps there at some point. And allegedly, I didn't stop. This is all highly alleged. Okay, I don't know. I let go when I felt the tap. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's good. Many lessons learned in that sequence there. Many lessons. I do that a lot with my right hand. So what I was thinking is put a hand there to block your knee, but it should have been my left, right? And then broke your hand contact, and it should have been reaching for your head. So
yeah. I mean,
my right hand, because as I was circling, I had my right hand down. I was thinking to try to block you from coming up, bringing that knee up, making your connections or whatever. So that's yeah. Well, and then a lot of good lessons learned there.
Some lessons learned.
That's how I learn best.
All right, so Jordan, why don't you talk us through your passing attempt here, which was sadly super good.
Well, I just remember thinking, like, last time I was really just kind of taking my time. So thinking through kind of the progressions and
12 seconds. That's how long it took.
I was just gonna
and considering you initiated your pass right here, I see 5 seconds on the clock. Okay. And then you passed, let's see, when's the official pass? Right. I'd say that's the pass right there. We're at 10 seconds. 10 seconds to get your pass. And how would you describe this pass? Like, what was your technique and what were you thinking?
The X pass, and just thinking, driving the head forward, do the little circle, trap that knee so you can't make the connection. So my thought is to try to get that leg around your left leg as fast as possible and drive that up into your body. And then the thought was to just clinch you in as I'm driving that knee in and just try to keep you from making the connections.
So let me ask you this. What's preventing me? Because you've basically got your outside hand, your left hand on the ground. What's preventing me from Kimura-ing you again?
Yeah, exactly.
No. There's an answer. There's a reason why I can't.
Well, it's you Kimura me with your right.
It's your head driving
into your left shoulder.
Like I can't invert and turn over and grab it and like whatever. So if you didn't have that top pressure, like coming from like your upper body into me, there's a chance that I could, grab your left wrist, your outside wrist, right? And start turning and go over your arm and whatever. But, the combination of your right arm pushing into my body, up in my hip area, like you're a little high maybe, right? Like that should really be a little bit more like down by my hip crease, my I guess it would be the top side hip crease. You're a little bit high with that, but like you're driving your head into me and that's like preventing me from really doing anything. So like I'm trying to track you with my left hook there. I'm framing with my right hand. I think in retrospect, what I need to be doing is with my left hand, because like I'm thinking maybe like I can butterfly sweep you or something, right? Because you can't post on your left side because your left arm is pushing into my leg, right? Like you have no post down there if I hip you over. But you're too heavy. So I think I just need to be framing with both hands and just keeping as much space as humanly possible. Because when a dude of your size and strength starts driving into you, it is like, you'll see, I even get my top leg. Like, remember that lasso thing that I was teaching you? I go for it here. Way too late. You know, like if I did that maybe, you know, like here, but even here, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try to sweep him. I think I've just got to start framing. I think like my left arm needs to be pushing on your head. You know, just needs to be creating as much space as you, or just sucking you into close guard. One of the two, you know. But I've got to stop doing this because, oh man, just getting brutalized. Here, I look at the camera in a second and I give the camera a face like, what am I doing here? Wait for it. Oh man.
And I'm trying to do the
there we go. That was my favorite. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's talk about this real quick. Okay, so what were you trying to do? Because I know what you're trying to do, but let's hear you say it. Okay, so neon belly.
Neon belly.
And how are you trying to accomplish that?
Well, just holding the pressure, keep that right hand blocking that knee.
Yep.
And now watching this, I don't know if I attempt to move towards the head a little bit more, but I think I'm realizing it as I'm doing it, and I think I start to move towards the head, hopefully. But I should be moving towards the head so I can have room to try to get that knee up there, but I don't remember.
Right there. No, right there, you moved up towards the head. Yep.
Yeah. But you knew what was coming. You knew that I was going to be trying it.
Yeah, so look, I've literally got my arm blocking your leg from coming in. Like, you see my right hand? Like, you can see it poking up at the top there. You know, like, I'm like, I know what he's trying to do. And, like, you're sitting there and you're like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? You're like, Bill taught me this. It should work. I block the hip. I go to north. I go a little bit up to north-south, then I shoot my leg up there. And I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, like, I'm keeping my knee high, and I'm keeping my like I'm just playing, you know, defensive, because like, dude, your top pressure is just so intense that it's just kind of survival mode. I'm biding my time until I can shoot an underhook with my left arm. Okay, so watch at some point again, like, and I don't think you know that we're having this fight, but like I'm just trying to frame, trying to prevent you from going to neon belly, and then you'll see in a second here, right there, I shoot the underhook, and then from there I can hip out and I can get back to my guard. So we can watch that again. Let's go back just a little further. Did you see the face I gave? I was like, heaven help me. So wait for it. As soon as I sense an opening, there, you bring your arm back up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sneak it back in. But I would just like to compliment, you know, the first time that you ever, you know, started in side control, for example, like look at the side control that you establish right away. Okay. Your knees are super close to my hips, preventing me from hipping back, you know, from knee elbow escaping. You have pressure on your top elbow and pressure on your bottom knee. That's preventing my hips from moving left or right. Like that was not something you did initially, right? Like, so like this is a super tight side control, you know, like a normal knee elbow escape where I bridge and try to go into you is like, would not work, you know, just because of your, you know, the strength difference here, basically. You can even see me, like, I'm not sure if it's here or in the next guard pass, but where I try to where I try to frame and push you off. And like, I literally move you like 6 inches and that's it. Just because of the strength of, all right. I'm going to get my arm in, going to hip out. Right there. It's like the one thing I was able to do. Get back to half guard. We reset, which was very nice of you. I asked you if you wanted to go back to the position we were in, and you're like, no, let's reset. And so now you try to do the same thing. This is the same pass. You're trying to do the X pass again. And I'm just like doing everything I can to not like, again, I just need to be using both arms to frame, I think, instead of just one. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here with my left arm. Like that doesn't make any sense. But so you haven't passed my guard here. I still have my knee in. And I think at this point, I'm just going to chillax. Oh yeah, that was my big bridge. Okay. So in the next video, you're going to see from this same position, Jordan doing a big bridge and push. And he literally like launches me 3 feet in the air. Okay. And now you're going to watch me try to do the same thing. And I get him to move maybe 6 inches. This is my big explosive movement.
It was enough.
It was enough.
It was enough.
I wish it looked more impressive.
It's more impressive that the guy's 20 pounds heavier than you. It was
but
enough
you're
to get
also
through.
like you're also pulling me. You know, you're like you're pressing down. Like you're not. It's not just your weight. Like you're also pressing down. So I was super pumped that I managed to get back to not being smashed. And then I think I was like, please let the timer run out. Please let the timer run out. Yes, thank you. All right. Let's do the next one here. Okay, now this is me trying to pass. And I was purposely, for sure, like trying to take like a much slower, grindier. What I actually wanted to do was to get you to do a knee shield, which you never did. You kind of like, you're mostly doing like just kind of using the tops of your feet or your ankles. But I was hoping to pressure you into a knee shield situation because I wanted to drill some of that. But we never get there. Oh yeah, slap bump. We forgot. See what's the first thing that I tried doing here?
You can see how intentional I'm being with my feet here. I'm like purposely like going through the checklist. Okay, got the sticky feet going. Got this. I'm going to be watching his hips. Like I'm.
Yeah. So here I'm like, oh, I can just hop over into mount. Okay, because this has happened to me. When you don't really know what you're doing and you're sort of playing butterfly guard, if somebody does a big explosive movement, they can just hop, like literally just leapfrog your knees and land in mount. And I almost did.
Almost, yeah.
I got past the one on the left and I whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll reset. I didn't like the 2-on-1 that you had here. So I was like, okay, I'm going to reset. Then I was like, okay, maybe I'll step around. Maybe I'll just kind of mess with your feet a little bit. I did a little bit of Toriando. You did a good job coming back. Like you just
having so much fun there.
You just didn't slide as much as I was hoping you would.
Yeah.
You're like, this guard thing is great.
And I'm just honestly, I'm thinking 100% defense here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even
like
thinking
you're not.
offense.
Yeah. I mean,
which I don't have an offense anyways, but I'm just thinking like, just pure defense, just keep them away.
So this is when I managed to kind of pull your legs together, and I do successfully pass your guard. Like this is kind of a, I don't know. I've never been taught this in jiu-jitsu class, but like clearly if you can connect their legs together, they become less mobile. Then you sort of end up doing sort of like a leg drag where you get around their knee and you put your knee in behind their or block them with your own knee, and then you can get up to mount. But even here, you're just like, at some point I'm like, I'm like, I got to address this head frame. This is too much. And then this is your knee elbow like connection that, again, like we were in the same situation here, and you're just so much better at pushing me off. I could watch this all day. Just like, I'm like, get that arm out of there.
That's how I feel with you and your elbows and my neck. I'm like, oh God, get that thing out of my neck.
Yeah, watch this epic bench press though. Watch this. Right? Because I do manage to get closer to your body, and then you just push me up fully. And then you extend me again completely. And it's like, all right. Okay, well done. So one of the things when you just have your feet up in the air and you're not sitting up, right? So like whenever I engage you, right, I'm sitting up, right?
Yeah.
Now, I guess I did nothing to make you concerned in the previous like minute and a half. So if you wanted to just lie on your back with your feet up, I guess that's cool. Because like I didn't threaten you really in any way. I guess I did. I passed your guard, but you were then easily able to bench press me off of you. So I guess maybe there's a good reason why you're just like lying on your back, like with no concern in the world. But when you do this, you make yourself very susceptible to things like the double underpass, which I do here unsuccessfully. I think maybe I try to initiate a knee cut, but again, you just kind of kick me away. Which you're doing great with your frames. But at this point, I'm like, I'm going to try the double under. So I get to the double under, and this is not my best double under pass. Just, I hope everybody stopped watching by now, because like this, I do actually, I try to do like a real jiu-jitsu pass, and I need to stack you more. But I didn't, and you did a good job getting your knee back in. And by the way, you were talking trash the whole way. You were like, almost, Bill, you're almost there. And I was like, I'm not teaching this dude any more jiu-jitsu.
I was like, oh, that's a new one.
I did this to you last week. What do you mean it's a new one?
I know.
Oh, man. A little jiu-jitsu goes a long way for strong wrestlers. So
I know. As long as I'm having fun.
I mean, it's going to be, dude, I mean, I think if you keep this up 2-3 months from now, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for me to have hardly any success with you. Like, I'm going to have to change my game, I think. And I mean, just get way better at jiu-jitsu. Because like you're learning you're learning the fundamentals at a super, quick pace. And again, just like the plus physical attributes, a little jiu-jitsu goes a long ass way. That X pass, like I've literally asked some of my buddies what to do with this. Like, and they were just like, how are your frames against a dude that's 25 pounds and way stronger? I'm like, not that great, yeah. Like, but I think I need to bail on thinking about butterfly sweeping you there and just do the best I can to create space and to get back to a good guard. I think that's going to be my next attempt to do that, because I don't want to do this closed guard thing. Like watching you and me in closed guard, not that anybody watches our podcast now, but whatever few viewers we have.
Shout out to Tommy.
Shout out to Tommy. He's like, where are all the alternate angles today? Didn't quite get there.
A busy week, long night. Let's go.
I got to go to jiu-jitsu. I got to go to jiu-jitsu to try to maintain any type of technical superiority over Jordan.
There we go.
Sure need
I'm going to do some mobility work.
Yeah, get that arm going. Buy some illicit Hungarian icy hot.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you to everybody who's watched. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.